All right, welcome. How's it going? Today is June 14th, 2009. This is Today in Art. If you're on YouTube, and I think I'm going to start uploading to BitChute as well, you can see that we're talking about the Pepe MAGA poster today and the lawsuit that was settled about it outside of court. It didn't actually go to court, it was settled outside of court. But it's a very kind of stylistic poster here that they sold at the InfoWars site, which they don't anymore. So, if we get into this, I pulled up a couple of different sites, so we'll kind of go through them. InfoWars to pay $15,000 for unauthorized Pepe the Frog posters. This was more than we could have gotten at trial, and it saves the expense of trial, an attorney for Pepe's creator, Matt Furie, said. Conspiracy promoting website InfoWars. Yeah, okay. Will pay $15,000 to resolve a copyright infringement lawsuit over its sales of a poster featuring the image of Pepe the Frog, a cartoon character that was hijacked by far-right extremists and racist internet trolls. Get the fuck out of here with that. It's mainly just memes. It's not all this horse shit they're saying. Oh yeah, did you hear? If you drink milk, you're racist. You do the OK hand symbol, you're racist. The rainbow flag, separate but equal, you're racist. Yeah, you can't just have one person do something like, oh, this racist, he drank water, he has a dog, he breathes air. If you do that, you're racist. I'm tired of that fucking horse shit. That's a little tangent, but whatever. InfoWars host Alex Jones on Monday signed his company's settlement agreement with Pepe's creator, Matt Furie. The California-based artist said he didn't authorize InfoWars to sell a MAGA poster that depicts Pepe alongside images of Jones, President Donald Trump, and far-right agitator Milo Yiannopoulos and other right-wing figures. That's not a decent description of Milo. Agitator. Louis Tomprose, one of Furie's attorneys, said the settlement amount is more than the $14,000 that InfoWars made from sales of the poster. He said his client plans to donate the extra $1,000 to Save the Frogs. Oh, to Save the Frogs, a California-based conservation organization. This was more than we would have gotten at trial, and it saves the expense of trial, Tomprose said. An article posted on InfoWars website called it a strategic victory for Jones. One of his attorneys, Mark Randazza, said Furie's lawyers had sought more than $1 million from Jones, but ultimately settled for a fraction of that after a costly legal fight. That ought to be a message to anyone who wants to file a politically motivated anti-free speech lawsuit against him, Randazza said. The settlement agreement comes less than a month after judges' rulings drastically limited the amount of money that Furie could recover from InfoWars. U.S. District Judge Michael Fitzgerald decided that Furie was precluded from seeking statutory damages and attorney's fees. That ruled out the possibility of a 6- or 7-figure judgment. Tomprose said plaintiff's lawyers expected to ask a jury to award roughly $14,000, which represents InfoWars' profits from its sale of the poster. The judge also refused to throw out the case last month. InfoWars' lawyer argued the poster's depiction of Pepe was fair use, but Fitzgerald ruled a jury must decide that question. A jury trial for Furie's lawsuit was scheduled to begin July 16th in Los Angeles. So, kind of the reason I'm going into this, too, I think this whole thing's kind of funny. But also, like, as an artist, listen to this, like, depending on what kind of art you do, you may delve into possible copyright issues. So it's really, it kind of, like, legally, it kind of sucks that they settled outside of court, because I wonder if it had went to court, if it would have been, judged that it was fair use or not. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, since it's a cartoon, it's definitely because I think a cartoon character is kind of different because it's kind of its own entity in that way. I don't know. It would have been kind of curious, I think, if it went to court and they ruled whether it was fair use or not. Because I know a lot of YouTubers have issue with being, copyright for like fair use stuff. But let's get back to this. The settlement agreement calls for InfoWars to destroy any copies of the poster in its possession and bars the site from selling any more copies. InfoWars also agreed not to sell anything else with Pepe's likeness without a license to do so. InfoWars attorney Robert Barnes said the settlement has no confidentiality clause because Jones wanted to tell the world how little he is paying. This is an amount we would have been willing to pay from the very beginning, Barnes added. Furie's Chill Frog Dude debuted in a 2006 comic book called Boys Club and became a popular canvas for benevolent internet memes, but the user-generated mutations grew increasingly hateful and ubiquitous more than a year before the 2016 presidential election, when Furie's creation became an online mascot for white nationalists, neo-Nazis, and other right-wing extremists. He did... I don't know. Like, Pepe is many things. Like, if Pepe is in a Hitler thing, like, you're making fun of Hitler. But yet, if you make fun of Hitler, you're a neo-Nazi. The way, like, mainstream media and, like, liberal media and all this stuff, like, want to portray stuff. Like, Pepe wasn't a hate symbol, in quotations, until, like, the ADL, like, Hillary Clinton's like, oh, this frog symbolizes hate. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You're just fucking saying that bullshit, and you have people fucking believing it that fucking don't know how the internet culture works, I guess. The Anti-Defamation League branded Pepe as a hate symbol. And they also, like, brand OK. It's like, oh, no, that's white power, which was a 4chan troll. How about the, it's okay to be white? The most innocuous fucking just statement. Like, oh, no, that's white supremacy. The people that, like, I'm getting sidetracked, yeah. But I don't know if it's like people just outside of the internet or like older people, like they don't understand if you try to, because in the past with traditional media, I guess you could do this, but now with like the internet, you can't. Like the more you try to like snuff or like censor something, like the more of a spotlight you're putting on it. And like, there's like the Streisand effect happens. Like the more you try to censor something, the more people like learn about it, then like go search it out. So where's that at? Last year, Furie resolved a separate copyright infringement lawsuit that accused a Missouri woman of misusing the character to sell hate-promoting oil paintings. I kind of want to look into that too at some point. I got to look up that. Tompro said he hopes the settlement agreement deters others from misappropriating Furie's creation, which we'll get into that. There's an issue with that as well. If anyone thinks they're going to make money off Pepe, they're wrong. Even though in the past he said he supports people making money off Pepe, and I have the quotes, and we'll pull them up here in a little bit. Jones still faces other litigation stemming from his inflammatory words. The Sandy Hook thing. All right, so let's... okay. Conflict began when InfoWars began selling a Make America Great Again poster using Pepe the Frog alongside Alex Jones, Donald Trump. While Furie was originally amused by Pepe's appearance in memes across the internet, he did not like how the laid-back comic character had been turned into a hate symbol co-opted by alt-right to create neo-Nazi and white nationalist memes, and later on memes supporting presidential candidate Donald Trump. Furie decided to take legal action in an attempt to reclaim the character he created. He also officially killed off the character, which lit a fire under people and to like really boast up the character too. The result of this lawsuit was highly anticipated with many copyright factors at play. Though extremely rare, Furie could have potentially abandoned the rights of his character by publicly stating that he was fine with Pepe taking on a life of his own through the memes. The issue of fair use was also brought up, as the jury was to decide whether or not the poster had an effect on the market and if the poster had created new purpose. Here's an issue, too. Finally, a major factor in the decision was that the InfoWars poster was created before Furie's copyright registration of Pepe in September 2017. This detail caused the judge to rule out any recovery of statutory damages and attorney fees. Therefore, the Furie was only set to receive around $14,000 in profits if he won. However, instead of going to trial, the suit was settled for $15,000. InfoWars agreed to stop selling the image of Pepe the Frog as well as destroy all copies of the MAGA poster in his possession. Though Furie was seeking $1.2 million in damages, he can now refer back to this settlement if anyone else attempts to sell products of using Pepe the Frog. So I'm also, because if you've been on the internet, you know there's like all kinds of like Pepe stuff like all over the place. So it just seems like if you're trying to make like actual money off the image, that's where it comes into play, not like reusing it and repurposing it. We got another article here. I'm trying not to read all the same stuff again. Furie's attorney, Louis Tompras, called the settlement a victory for his client, even though the suit had sought much more. Anyone who's going to make money using Pepe as the image of hate is not something Mr. Furie has ever authorized and is not something he is going to tolerate. Tompras said, according to the New York Times, this was more than we would have gotten at trial. It saves the expense of trial. As part of the settlement, InfoWars agreed to no longer sell the Pepe with a license for Furie to destroy all copies of the poster. In previous interviews, Furie had reportedly distanced himself from the people who hijacked Pepe the Frog years after his 2005 creation. That's also another thing. Like some are saying it was made in 2003, 2005, 2006. So the people writing these articles haven't really cited the sources, I guess. In 2017, Furie told NPR that the character was meant to represent the everyman. Well, wouldn't 63 million people, like close to a third of the U.S. be part of the everyman? He likes to take naps and smoke weed, play video games, Furie said. He's a 20-something post-college roommate. By about 2014, however, users on the 4chan and 8chan internet forums began using the character to promote neo-Nazi and white nationalist ideas, and later in support of then presidential candidate Donald Trump. See, the issue I have when they say that, a lot of times it's just like conservative ideas or ideas they don't like. They call it neo-Nazi and white nationalist. So they'll say that blatantly, and most people won't like recognize that's not actually what it meant or what it means. They like to like label shit inaccurately or exaggerate. In an article posted on InfoWars, the settlement is described as a strategic victory for Alex Jones after Furie demanded over $2 million in damages. Although Tompras reportedly worked pro bono in the case, an InfoWars article quotes Robert Barnes, an attorney for Jones, as claiming that Furie had spent over $1 million in legal fees. They thought we wouldn't win in court. They thought wrong. So if he really did spend over $1 million in legal fees and only got $15,000 back, I wouldn't really call that a win. I think this goes, though InfoWars was forced to pay the profits it gained from the poster, the website said the settlement clearly represents strategic victory for Alex Jones. They keep saying that they would have made more money if they went and waitressed with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a few months, InfoWars attorney Robert Barnes said in a statement. So we made her point. This is Furie will donate $1,000 of the earnings to the conservation group Save the Frogs. If you go to InfoWars, I tried going to InfoWars itself and seeing if they had a article about it, but they had one from when the suit initially started, like a year ago, and it kind of Well, it says, according to civil complaint, Furie did not authorize the use of Pepe image or character in this poster and does not approve of the association Pepe with Alex Jones or any other figure shown in this poster or the MAGA slogan. However, in a 2015 interview with Daily Dot about Pepe the Frog, Furie openly invited anyone to profit off his creation. Furie was asked directly if he was comfortable with people profiting off Pepe, to which he responded with the affirmative. I believe in supporting people's decisions to profit off Pepe in order to provide them with the most positive business experience possible, said Furie. I strive to be an advocate for Pepe in both love and enterprise and hope to help business people to have an empowering and joyful experience while making an oceans of profits as limitless as the universe. Jones said that he will not tolerate having InfoWars' name dragged through the mud by attempts to equate the news organization with white supremacists and the alt-right, which adopted Pepe as a mascot, according to InfoWars founder. Furie's 2015 invitation for people to profit off Pepe completely sinks the credibility of the case that had none to begin with. They're saying it's clearly transformative. It's protected by the First Amendment, protected by fair use. And actually, the Daily Dot here, I got it highlighted. It's like, and it says that he believes supporting people's decisions. So it seemed like he made the cartoon. He was for it. Then it kind of like went out of hand, and he didn't. I mean, I guess it's his creation, so he can decide. But he was like supportive of people using it. Because, you know, if it got memed and it gets spread, you get more notoriety. I mean, some people know his name now because of all this going on, but he got out of hand and is using it in the ways he didn't like it. So, yeah. I'm kind of curious what you think about this whole situation, too. I think it would have been good if it went to court. I mean, I just wanted to... if it was fair use or not, because I know with the going back to like YouTube, the H3H3 had that fair right use with I don't even know who, but they were like making the video and they won that case. And also I was trying to figure out, I was looking and trying to find Joan Allen, because they had like a hyperlink, but it wasn't working anymore. But I was trying to see if the actual artist had a website, and I couldn't find it. So I found other ones, but it wasn't. I don't think it was him. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure they had 15,000 they easily could have just gave him. But it was like a year of litigation. I don't know. I just wanted to cover that. It seems pretty interesting. So this has been, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. Like I said, this is going on YouTube. This is also going on Anchor as well. I think I'm going to start backing up stuff on BitChute as well. I'm going to create a site and start putting all these on BitChute because YouTube is getting crazy with their censorship and crackdown and all that stuff. They're like people that are like middle of the road, like commenting on stuff or commentary on stuff, and they're getting cracked down with the whole Mazza and the Steven Crowder thing, which is, that whole thing's insane. But yeah, this should be on YouTube. I'll start backing up on BitChute. I think most of my YouTube videos I'm going to start putting on BitChute just to have like a safe backup copy. This is also going to be on Anchor for the audio version, which also spits it out to... it also spits it out to, you know, places like Spotify. I'm trying to look up the actual... oh, come on. I'm trying to look up all the different places that it puts it out as. If I can not make a load of noise in the process here. Come on, come on, come on. All right. I'm trying to see where else it puts it out to as. Puts it out to? I'm filming this like 2 a.m., so I'm kind of Yeah, let's see what the. So it's I'm putting it on Anchor. Then from Anchor, it spits it out to Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Stitcher. It never got put on iTunes for whatever reason. But Anchor is pretty interesting if you're interested in doing your own podcast. You can put like the audio version out. And then from there, you just put it in one place and it'll spit it out to other places itself. Then, of course, I like doing the video version too on YouTube because it has, a lot of times there's like images since it's mainly an art thing to go along with it. So, yeah. All right, this has been Today in Art. This is June 14th, 2019. Like I said, I'm trying to do these, at minimum once a week if I can. Interesting stuff. I've been covering stuff lately that's kind of, like all of them are going to be art. But lately, some of them have been like political and stuff too. And it seems to be a lot of like right-leaning conservative stuff, but they're the ones getting censored a ton. Well, I guess the last one I did was the liberal lady doing the MAGA hat collection. So anything I find interesting that's art related, I want to do it. So, all right, I'm out of here.